Welcome back, guys, to another episode of A-Town Talk, the number one podcast in Anthony, Texas.
The only.
The only one, man. We're the only one.
Hell yeah.
Today, we're shooting here at Old Sheepdog Brewery, and our guest today is none other than Gus Delgado.
Yes, sir.
I was going to say Delgadillo because I was thinking of my
your
uncle. Yeah. So thank you, Gus, for having us here, man.
yeah. Thank you for the invite. I mean, it's awesome to be sharing my space with you guys. You guys have been dedicating a lot of time to us, and I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Thank you, because you've really uh come in. Like I've seen you come in like 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah, I've been living here for like the past week or so, week and a
Yeah.
half.
Two.
2 weeks, yeah.
And I really appreciate that because wanting to really truly know what this space is all about and not just coming in and just interviewing.
Yeah, well, that's something that we decided to change this year around with our podcast series. We're trying to be a little more like dive a little deeper into our guests and what they're all about. And I think for us, part of that is kind of living the day to day with you guys, like
Mhm.
with the guests or whoever we're following for the week, to kind of really get to know them.
Yeah.
And we really have gotten to know you quite a bit in the last week that we've been here, man. And I think what you're doing here with Old Sheepdog is has been great. We'll definitely talk about some of the events that we got
Yeah.
to see, but we want to start off just by really getting to know who you are first and your origins, like how, like where you from, where'd you come, and where you going, all that stuff.
Cool. Well, I was born in El Paso, but I grew up in Juarez.
Mhm.
Up to the age of 23, I was living in Juarez until I fell in love and moved over to El Paso to start my family. But um, you know, I've been always loving beer. Well, not always, right? And not as a kid,
Yeah.
but
Even
once I
then,
came.
getting your dad a beer.
Yeah, true. Or ve a la tienda, mijo.
Yeah.
Dile que te la apunte.
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, that's a little thing. My dad actually was when I was born. He was working for Carta Blanca,
Mm,
who is your Anheuser-Busch of Mexico, right?
yeah.
And he wasn't a brewer. He was just a delivery guy. So I guess it's in my blood. And then I recently found out in my journey within being here in the brewery, nobody had ever told me that my grandpa, my mom's dad, was working in the what's it called, the oh man, I lost the Blue Ribbon.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like
the
PBR?
PBR.
PBR Blue Ribbon?
Yeah,
Okay.
PBR Brewing, and
What?
he was only also in the line, just and that was cool. So
Yeah.
it comes from it. I've been I've been liking beer since I turned 18, drinking legally in Juarez, and I fell in love with craft beer at that age.
Hmm.
Sometimes, of course, we all start with your tecates, your
Yeah.
all the different
Was that your first beer?
my first beer was a tecate,
Tecate?
yes.
So, being that craft beer didn't really start up until like the late 2000s, I guess, like what
Mhm.
craft beers would you say at your age of 18
Um,
were there
so the big
available?
movement, yeah, it has been like in the 2000s. There was already like independent craft breweries
Mhm.
around before that, and one of the first ones that I tried was a Canadian brew. It's called Le Fin de Monde,
Mm.
which is the end of the world.
Oh.
It was a 17 percenter, and
Damn.
I had it at Murphy's. It
Yeah.
was a Irish pub in Juarez,
Yeah.
and we would go there pretty much every other weekend. Me and my wife back then, obviously we were just dating, friends and cousins, and we were all just hanging out there.
Mhm.
And when I saw the menu, I didn't know what that little number was next to it.
Mhm.
I thought it was the price. I was like, 17 pesos. Hell yeah. But no, it was actually the alcohol content. So, when you're young, you only have one for one beer, so you want to try to get
Yeah.
Yeah.
messed up right away. So I tried the highest one, and it was that one, and I pretended I like it. Obviously, I didn't,
Mhm.
and I was like, "Oh, this is really good." But As time passed by, I kept on trying new beers, and then when I turned 21, I came over here to El Paso and started partying here in El Paso, and I started going to Buddy's Beer Barn,
Mhm.
and Buddy's had a bunch of beers. That guy showed me a lot of stuff, and I was able to taste Stone, an IPA, for the first time.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was horrible. Arrogant bastard. I don't know if you guys remember that one.
I don't think I've
Um,
tried that one. No.
oh man, that's old school, man. That's one of the first craft beers, which was Stone Brewing,
Yeah.
and he, when Buddy sold me that, I was like, let me try this, and yep, sure enough, the bottle says you're not gonna like this beer, and sure enough, it was halfways. We only got two halfways of that, but recently I tried that Arrogant Bastard, and it's not as strong as it used to.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if they change or our palate has changed, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's how my journey on beer started. That's how I was working for a school, and I never thought that I was one day going to be a brewer, therefore even own a brewery. It was just a crazy idea that one day we decided to do.
And so how did that idea of the brewery come to be? And more important, I think the location, because I think the location of this brewery is really,
Mhm.
really special.
A little hidden, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the idea of the brewery started again with the same passion of liking beer, trying new things. My little sister, she was going to NMSU, which I believe, you know, you did that too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The brewing
So
class.
the
Yeah.
brewing class. So I don't know if it was already a brewing class when you took it, but I know when she was taking it, it was just beer appreciation.
Hmm.
The final was still you still needed to brew.
Yeah.
You needed to try like 33 beers and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Um, so it kind of like started with that. She told me that she wanted to, take that class, and if I could help her, and at the end she needed to do a beer. So back back a few years before she'd taken that that class, we had given my dad a Christmas present, which was a little brew kit,
Hmm.
because he was always like, I want to learn how to brew, mijo. We got to learn in the bathtub. I don't know why he always said the bathtub. It's just like que pasa in the bathtub, right? But
Yeah.
so I had given him that brew kit, but he never used it. So when my little sister Jocelyn wanted to did that class, I told her, well, my dad has that brew kit that I gave him.
Hmm.
So she eventually used it, and then I helped her out, and then it just took off from there. We were just, home brewing.
Yeah.
Pretty much, basically every weekend we were home brewing,
Wow.
and one day the wifey said, like, you should open a business. We like craft beer. We like
Hmm.
breweries. Every time we would go to different areas of the nation, we como si viajara mucho.
Yeah.
I just took one trip to California, dude. That's all I did. I took that trip to California, and we were in San Francisco, and we're like, we should open one.
Yeah.
And we never thought about like anything else other than this area. My wife grew up in South Central. She loved the park. She used to play basketball underneath the Lincoln Park.
Yeah.
So it's really special to her and to us. And when this place came out for rent, we couldn't take it out of mind. We always would look at it. We got to rent it, but it was so big, man, because the landlord was renting the whole thing,
Hmm.
and it was too much for us. We had such a little small system that it was just a one barrel, that because that was how I was already brewing with a one barrel in at home. So when the landlord decided to, split it, right away, I called the next day that I saw that he had split it, and we came in and saw the space. It didn't look nothing like this.
Hmm.
I'll show you pictures later on about how it looked,
Yeah.
and we immediately fell in love with it. I came in by myself, and then I that night I told my wife, "You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. It's so special. It felt like home as soon as I walked in." This is our production. When we started with a one barrel, which translates to 31 gallons. It's a 2 kegs, if you want to put it that way. So this is a 7 barrel. Where everything starts, it starts down here. This is your hot liquor tank. It's a 2-vessel brew house. Down here, all it really does is just heats up water. It doesn't really do anything else other than that. We set it up depending on the temperature, depending on the style of the beer. We go ahead and transfer it over into your mash tun. The mash tun is it's where we're gonna put all the grain that we mill. We mill outside. We have a cracker, so it cracks open all the grain.
Yeah.
And it's just to get all the sugars that we can from the grain. It picks it up with the auger, drops it down. While one of us is outside milling, the other is over here stirring, so it doesn't clump up. It usually that's like an hour long process. Just think about it like a tea. You know, you put your tea bag and you take it out. So it's basically the same thing, but in a bigger version of it. We then extract all the liquid. It's no longer considered water. Now it's called wort. It's going to look the same way that, kind of like already what the beer color is going to be.
Yeah.
We could see it through this little window where we're looking. We control the flow of it, and then we put it onto the boil kettle. The boil kettle, we add the hops, any additional flavoring that we may want. We boil it for an hour and a half. The sooner you add the hops, the more bitter the beer is going to be, compared to the end, the more aroma instead of bitterness it has. So that's kind of like where we play around. After that, after the boil, we cool it down with a plate chiller. The plate chiller has 760 plates. One side is the hot wort and the other side is the cold water, and it transfer of heat. And then the other thing is that we just don't dump that water. That water goes back into the hot liquor tank for the next day's brew. So we
so
try
you
to
use the
save.
same water?
Yeah, we try to save it.
Okay.
The water that is cooling it down.
Does that change your next batch? Like the flavor of your next batch?
No, because it's just clean water.
Okay.
There's nothing. There's no actual. It never touches with the boiling wort.
Oh, okay.
It just transfer heat.
Oh.
After that, it goes into any of these fermenters, depending which one's free. And then there it sits for a week. We add the yeast at the beginning of it. It eats all the sugars, and then it turns into alcohol. After that, after the week, we dump the yeast down, and then we do it just sits there to ferment longer and age. And we if it's some IPA, we could dry hop it. Right now they're open because we're gonna clean them tomorrow.
Yeah.
All these we're gonna clean tomorrow. And then after that process, it goes into a bright tank or the lagering tank. Basically, they're the same thing, the lagering tank and the bright tank. The only difference is that one's vertical and one's horizontal. The lagering tank has more space, more for it to fall. And that's where you get the more bright, clear beer. In this case, we also we push CO2 through it. That CO2 will carbonate the beer. After a week, we keg it, and it's ready to drink.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all the different beers?
Yeah, well, those are the names of the fermenters.
Oh.
We call them, they're dog breeds. The Shiba, the Doberman, the
Husky, yeah.
Pit Bull. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They're just, it's just funner than calling it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right?
Yeah.
The Corgi. The little ones are like the Chihuahuas, the Yorkies.
And how often do you guys brew?
Well, we want to say that we brew at least once a week. Unfortunately, it has been a little slower on it that we hadn't. We barely started brewing yesterday. The last week, and now today. And the last time we had brewed was in November of last year. But everything seems to be doing better now, and hopefully we get to brew once a week again.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. We keep the hops here and yeast as well. Let me see if I could get one. Have you ever seen the hops?
Yeah, so I brewed a double IPA when I was in college.
Oh, there you go. At MSU or what?
Yeah, at MSU.
Cool. That's one of the reasons why we started, because of that class.
Yeah.
I didn't take that class. My little sister took it. Where does it open? Oh, it's over here. And she kind of like needed to brew a beer at the end. So these are for our hef. You know,
Yeah.
these are compressed hops. They're pallets.
I love that smell.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Right?
I fucking
It's-
love it.
Oh, it smells good.
Yeah, it smells gorgeous, man. These are the closest thing that you get to weed.
Yeah.
They're cousins. And then of course our yeast looks like this. This pack will go ahead and we do a yeast starter and then we put it into the fermenters.
How much do you have stored in here? These are all
These are all full of beer.
Oh, okay.
They're just reserved. Just when it finishes over there, we on the front, we kind of take it from the back. Once it passes that line, that's when we get taxed. That's the
Oh.
taxing line. So everything that exits from here has to be taxed and sold. So,
That's
Yep.
cool.
and that's our little brew house, our little brewery tour. But I'm telling you, when we first started, we were just doing it on the little room over there.
over there?
That I have a big mess right now.
Yeah.
We had an event last night, so.
What about your bar area? How many taps do you have?
So we first started with 8 taps. Now I have the capability of doing 16, but we usually keep around 10 to 12 beers on tap. So the whole sticker thing, it actually just first started with just one sticker, which was the Galeria Lincoln, when Tino and Diego Robot owned the gallery up front.
Yeah.
And Tino's daughter came in and put the sticker, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. And then I put mine, and then it just took off, man. Some of them I purchased, some of them are from breweries across the city and across the nation, but for the most part, it's just stickers from local artists. And you know, they come in and put their sticker. Obviously, the idea was that don't cover another sticker, but now it got into a point where it's hard not to.
It's hard not to.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it, dude, and I immediately thought, I'm like, I gotta bring some of our stickers.
Oh, there you
So I
go.
brought you two if you want to put one on.
No,
Save the other one.
You guys have to put it yourself.
Oh.
So you have to.
What's a good spot?
Let's see.
I think up there, right above El Paso, but
I don't want to cover up the.
Well, you got this right here.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good one right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screw it.
All right.
Yeah.
There
People
you go.
don't know now that we're recording them on surveillance because they've already. Yeah. So, and that's how it is. It's just it's another way for people to express their art.
Mhm.
Something that Old Sheepdog is always proud of is that we do different types of arts, such as like music, poetry, you know, actual physical art of life painting, or we just like to open our space for different types of creatives, and this is one of them. And the expression of the stickers is one of them, and I become very addicted to stickers now. So.
And it really is a special place, man. I mean, we're from Anthony. I'm from Anthony, and I mean, we come to El Paso all the time, and I've been here before, a few times prior. But I think what really made me fall in love with this place when we came in to see Rebecca's art gallery.
Mm-hmm.
We were here like a couple weeks ago for that opening night,
Yep.
and I don't know, that was really cool. The community aspect that your brewery has with showcasing an artist like that, and I really just kind of fell in love with it. And then me and Raleigh came a couple of days after that, and then we started talking to you, and you were a really dope guy, and you started telling us some of the stories
Thanks,
behind
man.
this, and I thought like, man, this is a perfect place to showcase.
Yep.
And Lincoln Park was one of those spots that I hadn't really been to either. I mean, I've driven by and stuff, but we started to go out there and take some footage from it and taking
Hmm.
pictures, and we did some time lapses with Christian, and yeah, man, I fell in love with it too. Like it's so dope. The murals, they're so detailed. There's so much like
Yes.
culture behind it, and I was watching I saw Fit Fam just the other day. The Chavo Guerrero was here
Hmm.
because they have an Eddie Guerrero, like Guerrero's
Yeah, mural
mural there.
and one of the pillars. Yes.
Yeah, and there's just so much story behind that. I know you know quite a bit, so can you tell us a little bit about like the story behind Lincoln Park and some of the stuff there?
So Lincoln Park, of course, is one of those areas that a lot of people, even though if you grew up in El Paso, you don't know as much.
Mhm.
I mean, I grew up in Juarez, but I would come over to school every single day. I didn't know a lot about Lincoln Park until I met my wife, and that's where I met my father-in-law for the first time.
Oh,
And because she didn't live with him, and we kind of like, okay, let's meet up with your dad and see if he approves of me.
yeah.
So that's when I saw like, man, this is so cool. This is, and I'm telling you, probably like that was like probably like 20 years ago. um and it's just very magical the way that Lincoln Park is, and like you said, those murals, and it's
Mhm.
very cultura, very, it tells a story,
Yeah.
right? So this is called Lincoln Park or Chicano Park, and they call it Chicano Park Dos, right?
Okay.
Because Chicano Park Uno, or the first one, is in San Diego. It's
Mhm.
in Logan Park, and that's kind of like what this is imagining. So in Logan Park in the '60s, they started, the community started doing all these murals, and they kind of try to save that area of a park that the citizens have built. This is basically the same thing. It is built around Lincoln Center now, but back then it was Lincoln School Elementary. It was built in 1912, and it was a school that was the first school where African American kids and Mexican American kids could attend.
Mhm.
It was obviously far away from the city. It was in, it's not close to downtown if you would come walking. So that was the
Yeah.
first school that these kids could go to. So it's very historic as far as for our heritage, our as Mexican Americans. Um, in 2009, they wanted to knock it down, and when I say they, the city wanted to knock it down.
Mhm.
Um, the neighbors around this community literally form a chain to be able to avoid the bulldozers to knock it down.
Oh,
And
wow.
and the thing is that the excuse that they were using is that the structure was not safe because in 2006 apparently there was a flood, and the basement got flooded.
Mhm.
Well, the crazy thing is that I've been in that building. Probably like 2 or 3 years ago, we went in there and cleaned it with the help of the community here in the area and the Lincoln Park Committee. We went in there and cleaned it up, and there is no basement in that. So it was
Mm.
just an excuse just to say it, to knock it down.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what is it that the city was planning on building there, but we're so lucky that it got saved. And then recently, with the addition of new bridges that were added,
Mhm.
originally they wanted to knock down this building and some houses in front of this building where the gallery is, and the other side where still neighbors still live.
Mhm.
And well, of course, we weren't getting allowed to do that. The neighbors got together as well as the Lincoln Park Committee, and they were able to save the buildings. And but they were knocked down a couple of the of one bridge in particular that had over 17 murals.
Yeah.
One of the murals is actually was relived in here. So if you come to the brewery, you'll be able to see it, and it was made by the original artist, which is Gabriel Gaitan.
Mhm.
He came in and painted that our wall the day that we unveiled the mural. City council was here, as well as ex-mayors, ex-state senators, including TxDOT, which are the ones that knocked it down, but they
Yeah.
were here. And it was neat. That's when we kind of like started making more of a voice for us.
Yeah.
um, and making more that we did belong to this community, and we weren't here to displace anybody or to gentrify the area. We were here to add on to this area.
Hmm.
This is a beautiful, magical area, and we love it. And like you said, we're just branching off of Lincoln Park
Hmm.
to give it more life, and that's one of the reasons why we do the whole art. You were here for Rebecca's show.
Yeah.
What we're doing every month, we have a different artist. We started this year with that.
Hmm.
We're gonna have a different artist, local artist, and their art. We don't charge any wall space. We don't ask for commission or anything like that. The artist is here to display, and if they sell it, they keep everything. But it's kind of like to display that there is a lot of talent here in El Paso
Yeah.
and the surrounding areas. I don't want to exclude Anthony,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we're the only talented ones there in Anthony.
That's dope, man, because it's in your eyes and how I'm seeing it, it's more than just a brewery because you're putting
Mhm.
out local talent, and that way they could maximize their full potential. And
Mhm.
even it's from a spot like this, and to keep growing their career as far as showing their art and so forth,
So I actually met Gus and Brisa when they had barely opened. So during pandemic, I met Tino from Galeria Lincoln first, and he introduced me to Gus and Brisa. And immediately I could tell they were kind people, they were good people. They really care about the community. They love what they do. They do it with a passion, and that resonated with me and it aligned with me. I think everything I do with a purpose, and I do it for our city, for people to tell their stories. And so it was kind of a full circle moment to be able to come back and just share pieces of Lincoln Park that is right around the corner, tell the stories of the people that walk our streets, and just make it relatable. Yeah, so born and raised El Pasoan. I always love to say I'm one of the few young people that loves El Paso. I didn't get that itch. I got my master's and I wanted to stay here. I studied business, and I said in my statement of purpose, I want to give back to my community. There's so much talent. There's so many great entrepreneurs, businesses here, but they need help because maybe they don't know how to promote their business or how to do different things that I'm going to school for. And so I live, breathe, eat the city. Like, I just love it so much, and I want to show other people how amazing it is and all the amazing things we have here.
That's awesome. And how long have you been doing photography for?
So I love that question because people ask me all the time, and then when I say 10 plus years, they're like, how old are you, right? I've always liked it since I was a little kid. When I was a little girl, my mom used to buy me like the disposable camera. She would buy them at like Walgreens, Walmart. I would take pictures of my family all the time. And then when I was in middle school, my speech teacher became the yearbook advisor, and so she handpicked the 10 students in that class. And I don't think they had a yearbook before. That was like the first time in a while. And so at this point, I transitioned from disposable cameras to like a little point and shoot, a Kodak. And so I was the one that would go around taking pictures. And then when I got to high school, I went to Silva right around here to Jeff. And I was at my orientation and I saw this guy with his like large camera, and I was like, that's so cool. I had never seen a camera that large, that fancy. So I asked him like, hey, like, how do I do what you're doing? And he's like, just sign up for yearbook this period. And luckily I did. I was the only freshman. They were all seniors. And I remember this guy's like, hey, how do you know Joel, who was the chief photographer? And I was like, I don't know him. He's like, he only lets his friends take pictures. And I was like, then maybe I was like persistent enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so I started I think in high school is really where I took off, because I was the only freshman. I think they kind of assigned a lot of things to me, and I kind of got stuck doing them, and I didn't mind it. I think that's what really developed my skills. It was funny, I didn't know how to change the lens. I didn't know much about using my camera, so I kind of had to learn as I went. And because I had upperclassmen friends, that's kind of how they started to like, hey, we're gonna go to prom, can you take our pictures? We'll pay you. And at that point, I wasn't even thinking that. It was just more, I want to do it.
Yeah.
So just going to homecoming games and pep rallies, all those events is really what pushed me in this direction.
That's awesome. That's great. And how many pieces do you have on display today here?
That is a very good question because I lost track at some point. I think it was at like 14. So funny story, I had my first solo show in like 2021, 2021. I had pieces that didn't sell. So my friend Alex, he used to rent the space upstairs and he did the glass blowing. And it was such a cool space. I don't know if you've checked it out. Now it's a little bit different, but he was there. My friend Michelle, she used to have her barbershop up there, and he wanted to turn it into like a gallery space too. So I was like, hey, I have pieces left, like you can take them. And so the 4 that you see over there in the Virgin Mary over here, those are all from my original first show. And I just incorporated them. So at this point, I don't know, maybe like 20, 22, something like that. You guys count them, I can't tell.
And we've been very lucky and meeting so many artists, and apart from like painters and photographers, I mean musicians, we've given the opportunity to different local bands, to different DJs. And we don't do this like as like, oh, so they could always say that they started here. We do this because I know it's hard for somebody that barely is starting to
Yeah.
give a chance. And I know that because I was there at one point. Even as a brewery, it was hard for people to give us a chance, you know.
Mhm.
But we're opening our space because this is who we were, me and my wife, already with our home.
Mhm.
We were already opening space for people to get together and, you know, talk and enjoy themselves. And this is basically what we been doing here.
That's awesome, man. Even with us, like giving us the opportunity to come and do this here and be part of like all these other events and kind of capture that's
Hmm.
really cool. So thank you for that, man, because not a lot of people do that, and it's really cool that you do that. um I want to talk a little bit about the early days of the brewery. So when did you first open up the brewery?
So we got the space in October of 2018.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, we didn't know what we were doing, and I didn't know that it was going to be so hard, and in a way how so many hurdles that you need to jump in
Hmm.
order to open a business in El Paso. Um, Unfortunately, it took a year and 3 months for us to open a business. It was um, it was something that we weren't expected. Uh, I thought, 3 6 months we'll open and we'll start making money. Unfortunately, it didn't. So it kind of drained a big chunk of our of what we had saved to open a business.
Yeah.
And that's something that I wish that that could change for future businesses, where the city doesn't need to make it as hard as possible to open something, because it's people's livelihood. Not everybody comes from money. We surely didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm come from the barrio in Juarez, and
Hmm.
my wife comes from this area, which is obviously not something that you could be like, okay, we have, you know, wealth, or, generational wealth.
Yeah.
We're making it. We're trying to make it, and I feel that a lot of businesses need that help. And I think that's one of the biggest change that this city could probably make. I know I'm going a little bit political. Maybe we shouldn't, but
No, that's fine.
that's how it all kind of like started in the beginning. And unfortunately, when they finally let us to open, which is the last weekend of December of 2019, um, a couple of months later, we get shut down because of COVID,
Yeah.
right? And we were shut down for 11 months. We were only doing beer to go. And, those were very, very challenging times. So
Yeah, I
it
can
hasn't been
imagine.
easy, but it's been it's been a good roller coaster.
Do you feel like that the community played a role in helping you get through those early years, especially like during COVID?
I do believe so. I believe I believe during COVID there was a strong passion and a strong love towards the local,
Yeah.
towards your city. So it did help out. It did help out at the beginning, where people were actually, even though we weren't open to the public, but they were showing up asking for beer to go.
Yeah.
and we would just take it, take it to them. I would have my number out there, and they would just text me, I want an old yeller, and then I would take it to them, and they would leave. Another big thing that helped us was the kind of like what gave us the voice of what sheepdog is, which I don't have it right here, but the Cassandro beer.
Hmm.
If you guys don't know who Cassandro is, it's Cassandro el Exótico. He's a Mexican wrestler. Was a Mexican wrestler. He kind of let us use his image to kind of make a beer towards him.
Hmm.
That opening day of that beer, I mean, it sold out in 2 hours.
Wow.
He was personally here handing every single beer in the parking lot, and then it went around and down Uva, where the street where we're at, down Rosa, and then Uva, and then down Durazno all the way to Copia. People were making lines. Other local businesses came over to help us out in directing traffic,
Wow.
and it was pretty neat. And that kind of like gave us the whole thing about like, okay, kind of, we were already thinking community. We were already thinking about the arts when we first opened,
Hmm.
but how to execute that, and that's how we kind of saw how to do it. Like, we learned a lot that day, and I owe a lot to Cassandro in that fact that he gave us our kind of like our direction where we were going.
Yeah.
And eventually it turned into so many collaborations with was not just artists but celebrities, local wrestlers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So right now we have the Cinta de Oro
Yes.
beer right here, which is really cool, man. That's a really dope bottle.
Mhm.
And you were telling us that just last night you were with them.
Yeah, so last year we kind of became really good friends. Cinta and Old Sheepdog. We do a lot of things together now. We started with the beer, but we've done luchas now here with him. And then last night was kind of like a new thing that we're trying out, where he's the host of a show, and he's gonna be talking to local people also around beer and around dinner, right? He doesn't drink, but it's awesome that we were able to do a beer under his name. He was here and to brew it with us. That
Mhm.
same, it was roughly around like a year ago
Mhm.
actually that we did that beer with him.
Any other future collabs you have in mind with any other local, maybe artist or celebrities or whoever?
At the moment, I mean, I don't have anything that you could say that it's upcoming
Hmm.
with a local person, um, but you never know, right? I might be keeping it a secret,
Yeah. Mm.
right? But I mean, we've done several things. I mean, we were able to do not just the Cassandra or the Cinta de Oro. We did it with Miss Mexico.
Hmm.
She was the Ivana Diaz. She's a trans woman, and she was able to compete under Miss Chihuahua, and then won Miss Mexico, and then eventually got like, I believe, third place in Miss Trans Universe. We
Oh,
put
wow.
her on a can too. Uh, One of my favorite ones of those collabs was I did it with Jim Ward, also
Hmm.
with a local musician from at the drive-in in Sparta.
Hmm.
Um, so, but we also don't just do like celebrities or we've also done the community work, like the our Barrio Love series.
Those are really dope.
Our Barrio Love series started with Segundo Barrio, Lower Valley, and South Central here. Every year we throw out 3 new beers, and to kind of like barrios that are kind of a little bit forgotten.
Hmm.
When we first started, it was only South Side. We've done Chamizal, we did Duranguito as well, and then we kind of expanded. We've done Rio Grande. We've done. Um, I mean, it was a barrio, okay, Sunset Heights, and then we did the whole entire Northeast. We did one for them as well, and it's kind of like what we do, the Barrio Love series. It's just bringing love to the city
Hmm.
and bringing love to the different areas that might people might not even like visit anymore. So
Yeah.
mhm.
No, that's really dope. And who do you partner with, like local artists to come up with the artwork for the beer cans?
Yes. So we've been lucky enough that we were able to meet a lot of artists. Um, Mainly maybe because at one point the Galeria Lincoln was in the front,
Mhm.
and you know, Tino Ortega, who is a, you know, very good artist, he introduced me to a bunch of different artists that do different graphics, and little by little I've been able to like have them and show them in our cans. So all of our cans have a different story. All of our cans have a different artist, and I love that.
That
Mhm.
that's awesome, dude.
Sorry, we're brewing. Okay.
Nah, you're good. Um, talking about collabs and stuff like that, right here we have the Blue Beetle helmet, which was really cool that I saw. I had seen this on FitFem because of course we find out everything through
Mhm.
FitFem. Old Sheepdog Brewery comes out in the Blue Beetle movie.
Yes, that is actually something that I, to this day, I don't even know how it happened, dude. It was crazy. It was crazy. The uh, the guys from Power at the Pass, which is kind of like a marketing company here locally.
Mhm.
We had worked with them. Actually, I did a beer with them. Uh, they invited us over and told us that the director was going to be in town. He was only going to be like at their place for like 40 minutes. Come on over, bring some beers over so he could try some El Paso beer. I go over, I hit it up with Angel, who's a director,
Mhm.
and at the end of the day when he was leaving, he's like, "Hey man, there's a scene where a character, he didn't tell me who, is going to be drinking beer. It'll be great if it could be your beer." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, dude! It's great." I had taken some growlers. I gave him some growlers. Here, take those.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got my number because I didn't share my number, or did I? Well, maybe I did, right? But he, I ended up getting a call from Warner Brothers like 2 days after, and they're like, the boss really wants you for your beer to be in the movie. We need all these beers, and I'm like, great, you know, that's awesome. When do you guys start recording? And then they're like, this Friday. This was already a Tuesday, you know?
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh wow. So a lot of my labels, well, most all of my labels get printed here locally. So
Mhm.
I made some quick calls, and you know, from Nico from Lost in El Paso, and Tito from the El Paso,
Yeah.
um, and then I told them, dude, can I told Nico, print some beer cans. These are the ones that they want. And then I told El Paso, dude, you got to make me some shirts and some hats. And we mailed it all out on Thursday because they were going to record on Friday. And, you know, when the movie comes out, we get to see everything. And I was thinking just a little bit on the far you're going to see us, but no, man. He ended up putting us in the beginning of the movie. You see our sticker on his luggage, his growler. Well, a growler is in top of his fridge
Mhm.
in his house. A Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle sits in the rooftop, drinking a 6 pack of our beer,
Hell
the
yeah.
generic can, the black one, and then our hat sits in his room. So we were like, oh my god, he gave us so much airtime, and it's cool. It is unfortunate that it did get a lot of hate because it didn't get recorded here in El Paso.
Yeah.
But you know, I understand. It wasn't Angel's fault. I mean, it was something that Warner Brothers wanted to do, like its own little city,
Mhm.
which was Palmera. Hey, but he lives in El Paso Street,
Yeah, which was really cool.
which is cool.
Yeah.
And in the movie, the interaction that they have within the household, it's very El Paso.
Yeah.
So I
Even
love
like
that.
the neighborhood looks very.
Yeah, very Segundo, no?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep, yep.
Which,
Because I know he was driving around that day that he was here. He was driving around Segundo Barrio to kind of see what it
mhm.
was all about.
Get an idea. Kind of crazy. I feel like it. I don't know. It's like a Old Sheepdog Brewery is kind of like a just like a movie type beer, like
Yeah.
type out there. I don't know,
Yeah.
like Duff
Duff.
in a
Duff
way, you
beer.
know.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you have a favorite type of beer?
Um, I mean, I like all styles.
Mhm.
Every single style I do like. I mainly now it seems to be that the heavy beers, the very hoppy beers are put behind me. I don't go for those. I go easy drinkers like lagers,
Yeah.
and those are my styles now.
Yeah, I was really into I've loved craft. I think ever since I took that brewing class, or it is
Mhm.
like a beer appreciation
Mhm.
class, and then the final is brew. You have to brew the beer. Ever since I did that class, I really started liking beer a lot. And at first, I was big on IPAs,
Mhm.
but yeah, I'm like you, man. I'm kind of past that right now. I like pilsners. I like
Yes.
hefts, like the lighter stuff.
Mhm.
I love the Old Yeller.
Yeah.
That's like my favorite one that I've had here. We did come on the day before Valentine's and we tried the big red one.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
That was
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So the Big Red is a blend. It's a wheat beer blended with a cream soda
Hmm.
with Big Red, right?
Yeah.
So it's neat. It still has that Big Red flavor, which is huge in Texas.
Yeah.
Not so much here in El Paso, but I know in Texas
Just overall, yeah.
they really like that. So
Do you have
Mhm.
any other like out of the normal beers that you like to brew or anything like that?
Well, I mean, we have our Jeffrey series. They're like milkshakes, I guess, cream ales.
Mm.
We do them with actual ice cream,
Oh wow.
and those are coming up pretty soon, sometime in April.
Hmm.
We also do the cake series, which is carrot cake, German chocolate. We also do red velvet cake beer, and this year I'm trying to do a cheesecake one.
Mm.
So those are like cool little series that we do yearly, once a year, and then once it's over, it's over. We've also done beers, a really special one that I really like, and people seem to like it and are waiting for the release of it, which is our Marranito beer. We do them with the little Marranito cookies
Hmm.
from Bowie Bakery, and
Oh.
and those that is released on December 24th every year. December 24th, it's released, and we put it on a can that kind of is like a present.
Yeah.
Gift
So
wrapped, yeah.
yeah, so it's really neat. I mean, we do like fun stuff yearly that people are now used to and just waiting for that time for it to come out. The Mean Girls beer, which is Why You So Obsessed with Me, Pink Guava IPA, we do
Oh,
that.
that's
Um,
sick. Yeah.
on Halloween, we come up with a Vampiro, which is a double IPA with tart cherries. So,
Oh.
um, and hopefully, as more time passes, I keep adding more and more and more, and not just our core beers, but like crazy little stuff that we're gonna start doing more yearly.
Out of the core beers, what is like the favorite
I think Oh Yeller, man.
Old Yeller?
Oh
Why do you
yeah.
think that is?
I don't know. Oh Yeller was probably the first beer I did as a professional brewer, if you want to
Hmm.
say.
Hmm.
Um, at first, it was a pale ale, and it got rebranded because of prices and grain costs, right? But
Hmm.
it turned into a pilsner, and I really like that the fact that now how I like this version better than the original version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I'm always thinking like one day I would bring the classic O Yeller and then still like do it like the old one. But the O Yeller is a big seller here. 915 is another one, which is our Mexican lager,
Mhm.
and then we have our core Hef, and then which is My Name is Hef, and then we have Texas Sun, which is our hazy IPA. Those are the four.
I was just thinking, my name is Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where we got it. Oh, I
Okay.
forgot. Yeah, we also have the chamoy beer, which is the one that sells the most for distribution. Like a lot of the places that we distribute, those are the ones that they ask for the chamoy beer.
Oh.
Yeah, blonde redhead. Right now we don't have it on tap. It
Mhm.
is be available once this comes out. It will be available, so come and try
Yeah.
Nice.
it.
Me too.
Do you have? I don't know if did you have like a favorite beer that you like personally?
I like a lot, but if you're gonna ask me one of my favorites, it's not craft beer. It's Course Banquet.
Really?
Yeah, that's
The
one of my
little
favorite.
the little short ones?
The yellow
The
bellies are
yellow
cool.
bellies.
I seem to be drinking more of the 16-ounce pints cans.
Yeah,
Mm,
so good.
yeah. Um, what about the food? I know you guys also have a food truck here as well.
Yes. So, a lot of people don't know that we have food,
Hmm.
and which is strange because we've had it for a year, right?
Yeah.
At the beginning, we had a lot of like, uh, food trucks coming here and there. We would bring. We've also brought like, food trucks from outside of El Paso,
Oh wow.
and they still come over and we still allow them. But we first started with like rotating food trucks. Sometime last year, our like food trucks that would be here permanently, they took off, so we kind of had to get our own.
Hmm.
And I've been lucky enough, or we've been lucky enough that my wife took charge of that, and she's doing a great job in cooking. I think she does a really really good job in cooking, and now it's becoming where now you people do it, know that there's food here now,
Hmm.
and we recently incorporated the burger, which you
Really
guys
good.
were the first ones to try it.
Yeah.
Actually, the day that you were here, that was the day that we were
Yeah.
like, let's start releasing a burger.
No, yeah, you let us sample it that night, and I was thinking about that burger for like the next couple of days. So when we came to shoot some more
You would.
footage, I had to order one, man, and it's so good. I
Mhm.
love green chili. I love green chili, especially on burgers
Hmm.
and like that smash patty style burger.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
the other thing we were talking about is that the fries they taste very homemade stuff.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
She cuts them on the spot when you order them, and
oh,
she'll like
fresh.
fresh, fresh,
yeah,
fresh, fresh.
it's
Yep.
so good, man.
It's
Um,
dope.
events. I want to talk about some of the events that I got to witness. For one, like the art gallery that was here, that was really cool. But this past weekend, you guys just had a book fair,
Yes.
which was a crazy,
Yeah.
crazy.
It was insane, man.
Yeah.
We kind of had a feeling that it was gonna be, busy.
Hmm.
We weren't expecting how busy it was. That was a huge blessing, a huge blessing. And it's one of those events that we are known for. It's kind of like, it was the second time we did a book fair. The first one was a little smaller than this one, but what I mean it's one of those events that we try to incorporate the community as much as possible.
Hmm.
Um, by We had over 10 local authors that have been published, which I didn't know that many people had been published here, which is great.
Yeah.
We had 3 local bookstores. We had like around 7 vendors selling stuff for books, and then we had the El Paso Public Library. So that was pretty neat. It's I mean, I love doing stuff for the community, and how one thing is love doing it and putting it out there, but
Hmm.
the response you get back, that's
Yeah.
the beautiful part about it, that we get that response back from El Paso, from the community, and for us it's real special to get that.
I got to walk around and talk to a lot of the authors and some of the bookstore owners. Of course, Cactus Flower Bookery, Steph was here.
Yes.
We've done a podcast with her, so
Oh, nice.
yeah, she's awesome, and we love working with her. And everybody was super grateful about it, and everybody was so excited of the turnout
Mm-hmm.
that, and it was really cool, man. And I almost wanted to jump in and help you out with serve some beers or something
Right.
because there was a big old line when I got here. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, man. I hadn't seen it like that in a minute,
Yeah.
and I was so happy and just very stressed, to not in a bad way, but like, I need to get all these people, like, before they. I don't want to lose anybody. Get out of that line. Let me
Mhm.
let me hurry, rush it. Very like mom and pop brewery, man.
Yeah.
And the wife is it's like the food truck. I'm behind the bar. Sometimes my son comes and helps us out behind the bar as well. That day he was running around, delivering food orders.
Mhm.
We've been blessed with Josh, who is our brewer now. I kind of stepped down and from brewing,
Mhm.
and let Josh just take over, and he makes great product, and so it's a very family oriented from the back all the way to like how it presents itself for everybody to be here.
Yeah.
Hi there. So back in November, Stephanie reached out to me and let me know that Old Sheepdog wanted to do a book fair, and she had asked if she could invite some local authors that she knows. She reached out to me, and with, I don't know, like less than 2 weeks notice, we pulled off the first event, and it was such a great turnout, such a great group of authors, and we had so much fun. My husband loved coming to hang out, grab a couple of drinks. He doesn't usually come to book events, but he was like, oh, but they got those local brews. It's really good. He was very happy to hang out. So of course, when they announced the second event, I was no hesitation and I brought some friends. It's amazing that this is only the second event. And we've already doubled the amount of authors, doubled the amount of vendors. The turnout is incredible. I absolutely love this, and I plan on coming to every event that they do.
This is my first time at Sheepdog Brewery, and it's really nice for a local author to have the opportunity to meet other readers in the area that we live. So this has been a really fun experience for me.
Hi, I'm Sarah Miller from Margin Oats Book Bar here at Old Sheepdog Brewery for their book fair. And this just means so much to so many local vendors, small businesses. It's just so great that so many people came out to support today. So come out and support Old Sheepdog Brewery.
Hi, I'm Alex Diaz, local author, born and raised here. Old Sheep Brewdog, have been here for a while. I'm really grateful to be here. This event brought the whole community. So I think everyone here involved has been very, very blessed to be here.
Hi, my name is Hector Enriquez, and I'm promoting my book as many others authors. This is a great event for our community. I hope everybody is enjoying. Thank you to this beautiful place, and I invite to come because it's a great cultural place. Thank you for the invitation.
Hi, I'm Veronica Gallegos. I'm a local author. These are some of my books. Most of them deal with mental health or the harsh realities of life. I'm writing my next horror book, so I hope you check it out.
All right. Hi, my name's Eric Medina. I'm the author of The Wolves of Bellevue. I also got a collection of short stories out. We're out here at Old Sheepdog right now. We've got a bunch of great authors out here, a great community of people with their books out. We're having a great time. The brewery's got some amazing brews on tap, and we appreciate the love of Paso coming out and spending this time with us. Appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Much love. Shout out to Old Sheepdog Brewery for having me here to sell my books. You can find them at Espinosa Writes and at the Barrio Panther, which is a literary magazine. Much love to the city of El Paso. And what was the name of your podcast, my dude?
A-Town Talk.
A-Town Talk?
Yeah.
And much love to A-Town Talk. If you read this. And if you don't, learn how to read and then read this. Much love.
All right, so I'm Megan O'Toole Pitts. I'm a local author. I'm the author of Carmelita, which is a children's book, and it is inspired by the local history of the 1917 Bath riots and the activist Carmelita Torres. So this is the book right here. This is my book, also illustrated by local artist Ashton Cayley. And so book events like this, book fairs like this really are important to the community because they help bring together these local stories, not just mine about history, but also local experiences in my time. And also this other artist over here, E.C. Dukes, and her husband, Duke Comics, they talk about El Paso in the future. So I think a book fair like this is like a really well-rounded, creative venture where you get to learn about the community's past and kind of be creative and imagine the community's future.
Hi, we're here at Old Sheepdog Brewery in El Paso, Texas, Chuco Town. And my name is E.C. Dukes. I'm a writer for dukescomics.com.
And I'm Ronnie Dukes, the illustrator for Dukes Comics. And we're here today with our 2 graphic novels, Daisy and the Dukes of Chuco Waters World Rally, and AWOL, Cruz Ochoa, which are 2 books that take place right here in our area, El Paso, Juarez, New Mexico, and we're making our heroes based here.
Yes, and so we feature Latina protagonists that are very inspiring, and we just want to uplift and inspire our community, and we're so grateful to local business owners like Old Sheepdog to allow us to be here in their space. So thank you all so much. We really appreciate this opportunity.
Hi, my name is Kayla. I am the owner and creator at One More Chapter Bookshop LLC. We opened in October of 2024 and currently offer mostly blind dates with our book. It's our hit item at local vendor markets, and we do have a website as well. You can find us on Instagram at one more chapter _ bookshop.
Hi, I'm Stephanie from the Cactus Flower Bookery, and we're here at the book fair at the Old Sheepdog Brewery. And this event has been going off gangbusters. It's been packed all day since before it even started. The crowd has been intense and full of energy and alive. And I think it just proves how badly El Paso needs these community events, how much they work, and how niche communities thrive off of things like this. And it also proves that El Paso is not an illiterate community, that we have book people here, and that El Paso wants to read. And I love that they did this. I love that there is such a huge spotlight on local authors, because that's also a really important thing, that in the Southwest in general, there's so many local authors that have amazing books that just need to get read. And so we're the Cactus Flower Bookery again. We have secondhand, antique, vintage books, records. We work a lot with local authors, local artists. We have a bunch of merchandise, and I can't wait for the next book fair because we will definitely be here.
And what's that like for you, man? Because I mean, you're here, 5 out of 7 days a week? Sometimes maybe probably even more, right? I'm
Yes.
sure you have to come in on your days off.
Yeah, it's the life I chose. It's the
Yeah.
life we wanted to. And I mean, I never dread the day that I come. Like, I'm never like, oh, I need to go.
Mhm.
Yeah, there could be days that I say, damn, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But I get up every day with a smile. I tell everybody, and I tell them, I'm the most broke that I've ever been in my life. But I love doing this. I
Mhm.
am the most happy of doing this. And if everybody should be like, to be able to do something that you're really happy about doing and very proud of. And I'm very proud of what we have here, and I'm super excited to come in every single day, regardless if it's if I'm here 24/7.
Yeah.
I'm real happy to be here.
No, I can totally relate to you on that, man. Right now, I don't have a steady job. Like, I'm
Mhm.
trying to do this for a living, trying to do videography, photography, and all
Mhm.
that. Um, but like you said, I'm happy. Like, I wake up every day, like I'm stress free.
Yep.
You do worry about bills and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but it doesn't beat the feeling of doing something that you love rather than having to like work for somebody, do like a
Yeah,
9 to 5 that
exactly.
you hate. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Um, are you good on time and stuff like
I'm
that?
good on time. We don't have any customers.
All right.
So if you're seeing this, come over, drink.
Okay. Yeah. I have on here. I wanted to talk about Luna the cat.
Luna the cat.
Yeah.
She was actually right underneath you guys right now.
Oh, really?
I was just like, don't drop the camera. Don't drop the camera. So Luna the cat. Okay, so Luna the cat, I know we're Old Sheepdog, and it says dog, and when you come in you see a cat, right? A lot of people freak out. A lot of people like wonder like, who is this cat? So Luna the cat was a neighborhood cat.
Mhm.
One day she showed up, and probably 4.5 years ago she showed up. At the beginning, I wouldn't allow her inside, and I was trying to avoid that uncomfortable moment for customers, or I didn't even know that we could have her inside. So, Josh, our brewer, took her to the vet, and we found out that she was spayed and she's healthy.
Mhm.
So I just decided one day to open the door, and she came in, and she's never left. She currently does work here. I know it sounds funny, and people like, you know, we have a sign on the wall that says it's our manager, right? But basically, what Luna does, Luna keeps us very clean. And the way that I say that is because we're a brewery. Brewery has grain. What likes to eat grain? Mice, rodents, right?
Yeah.
So Luna has been able to keep us extremely clean, where she is doing her job. She does her job to be able to stay here. And I do recommend for a lot of businesses to do this. I know Animal Service is pushing the whole barn cat thing, because there is a lot of stray cats out in the city that need a home, and that's the best way to do it as a business. And they're really grateful. I mean, we never taught her anything; she just did it,
Yeah.
and they're really grateful. So she lives inside here. Um, we've asked the health department, for those are welcome that are wondering. We've asked the health department if it's okay if she's here. Yes, she is. She is okay to be here. She's legally to be here, right? And since we do a lot of stuff with like animal services and different rescues, we always get their advice. We always ask questions about if we're doing it correctly or not. And everybody seems to agree that we're doing a good job with her. And so if you come into Old Sheepdog and if you see a black cat, it's okay.
Remember
Yeah.
that time that Johnny was talking about? She just pulled up right to the front doors, and Johnny was like, "Do I open it? Do I let her in?" I was like, "Fuck, I don't know."
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck it," but yeah, he opened the door and fucking quick.
Yeah,
She came in
yeah,
quick.
yeah. And then she'll sit here on these couches and chill with you.
Yeah.
When she's not working, and it's cool. It's cool. We love her. I mean, I didn't like cats, dude. I mean, I grew up with that whole mentality. Oh, los gatos son sucios, o son malos, traicioneros.
Yeah.
Because that was the mentality that my parents had, and they put it on me. And thanks to Luna, I now appreciate cats so much. The fact that I have two with my sheepdogs that I have at home. Now I have two cats at home because of her, and it's great.
Is that where the name Old Sheepdog Brewery came from your
Yes.
personal dogs?
Yeah. So when I was homebrewing, I didn't know what to call it. When you're homebrewing, you just want to pretend you're in a brewery, right?
Yeah.
So I would call it Old English Sheepdog. And I would tell my friends, come over to Old English Sheepdog, Old English Sheepdog. So when we decided with the idea of the business, we're like, okay, let's register the business. We didn't know what else to call it. I mean, I could have called it Chuco Brewing or Lincoln Park Brewing. We still didn't know that we were gonna be in this area, right? But all I did was like I dropped the English because I'm like, come on, dude, you're Mexa.
Yeah.
So we just left Old Sheepdog Brewery,
Yeah.
and I think the name falls very well with us in the fact that a sheepdog is very like comforting, very like protective also, and very loving, and that's what we are. We're here to guide you to good beer and protect you and love you.
Yeah. That's awesome. The day of the book fair, there was a sheepdog here,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was like your guys's or something, but it
Yeah.
turns out the lady, she just happened. I don't know, she just heard about it and she came.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got some footage and some pictures.
Yeah, I
of
saw
the
I
dog.
saw that, and the we once in a while do dog reunions, right?
Mhm.
And we were doing like different breeds. We've done bullies. We've done what else have we done? We've done different types of breeds. But the day we did the sheepdog breed,
Mhm.
we had over 25 sheepdogs.
Wow.
3 of them were mine, so we had 22. But that was great. I mean, it was
Still a good turnout.
it was awesome. I mean, it was a great turnout, and to see so many fluffy dogs around, walking around, barking, and that was pretty neat.
Yeah, because that's not a very common like dog breed. I think I don't know.
Mhm.
Not
Yeah.
around this area, anyways. I feel.
Yeah, and you'll be surprised. I've learned good stuff and bad stuff, right? You know, there was a local rescue that all they do is sheepdogs.
Mhm.
Well, actually, they weren't local. They were from Oklahoma, but they opened I guess a chain here, branch here of that rescue in El Paso, because El Paso, unfortunately, is the biggest city that abandons sheepdogs.
Wow.
Yes, that I did not know. I did not know. I didn't make, the brand because of that. No, I found out this because of that rescue. They came in because of our name, and they were the ones telling me that unfortunately El Paso is one of the biggest city in the nation that abandons English sheepdogs. And I don't know if it's because we're not ready to take care of their hair or their size and all the care that they need.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's stuff that you find out as you're getting and going through the businesses. I'm like, oh wow, I did not know that. And so if you have sheepdogs, take care of them. Don't abandon them. Don't throw them away.
Yeah, do better, El Paso. Come on.
Yes, come on.
That's the kind of stuff we don't want to be known for.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad, man, because you go through their like Facebook page and they're putting, "We found another dog. Guess where from?"
Oh my
and
god.
then everybody posts, "El Paso, El Paso." Come on.
Well, that's cool that you have those events and you're kind of like a sanctuary for, for
Yeah, and
sheepdogs.
remember, and the brewery is a pet friendly place,
Mhm.
inside and out. So if you want to bring your dog, you can bring your dog. We take pictures of them, we print them, and we put them on the wall. And you'll get to see different dogs that have come and visit us. So, yep.
Yeah.
I have to bring my dog.
Yeah, dude, your dog's crazy.
He's actually pretty chill, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that night he was pretty wild.
Oh, he likes running around.
Yeah, that's true. All right, Gus. Well, we are about up at that hour mark. I know you're
Yeah.
gotta open up and stuff. But before we let you go, is there anything else you want to tell us, or just kind of what's the future for what's your future the future in mind for Old Sheepdog Brewery?
Well, our vision is always, obviously, as any other business, you want to grow.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that our product is not just in town, but statewide. I would think that right now, more than any, not just Soul Sheepdog, but all the local breweries and craft houses, El Paso needs to, and the surrounding areas, needs to like appreciate that a product is made in town and a product that is much better in quality because it's made by hands that live next to you, and they just need to support. Support the scene of the craft beer, which is really good, and just support local and enjoy and have those dollars stay here, man.
Yeah.
That's mainly what we.
Yeah. No, especially for someone like you guys that we know firsthand that you guys do so much,
Mhm.
and you guys give back to the community. So that yeah, we got to support you guys. So, but thank you so much, man,
Thank you,
for
brother.
having us here. This was great. It was
Much appreciated.
it was fun for me to kind of get out here and learn a little bit about you guys and all that, and yeah, man, thanks for having us here.
Thank you for wanting to hear our story, and for anybody else watching this, and if they come in, and I'll always be behind the bar, and we could definitely chat.
Yeah, get the old yeller.
Get the old yellow.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Thank you guys.
Yep.
Raleigh, any last words?
I don't know, man. This beer's pretty good.
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to stick around and grab another one.
Hell yeah.
Maybe
For
get
sure,
some
man.
food.
No bad ones.
All right,
Hell
guys. Thank you guys for watching another episode. Make sure you guys come out and support them. Support us. Give us like, comments, and all that stuff. Share the content. So
Bring your dog.
bring your dog.
Bring your dog.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.